Hey, what's up guys, I'm David, and this is how I would have edited it, where I take a movie scene and recut it the way I would have done it if I'd been the editor. Right now we're going to take a look at a scene from Transformers. It's actually 3 scenes, about 5 minutes long total. I'm going to play the original clip for you, then I'm going to show you the same clip re-edited the way I would have done it, and then I'm going to go back and explain my thought process and why I made the changes I did. So I hope you enjoy.
Whoever did this finally managed to infiltrate our defense network, which is what they tried to do in Qatar, only this time it worked.
What did they get?
We still don't know.
Talk to me about the virus.
It's a spider-bot virus. We're not sure what it's going to do, but it may cripple the system.
Can we stop it?
Every time we try an antivirus, it adapts and speeds up. It's like it's not a virus anymore. It's become the system.
Obviously, the first phase of a major attack against the U.S. The only countries with this kind of capability are Russia, North Korea, maybe China.
I'm sorry, that's not correct.
Excuse me, young lady, I didn't see you standing there. You would be who?
I'm just the analyst who detected the hack.
Hold on. It was you? You did it?
Her team.
So I was just trying to say, they hacked your firewall in 10 seconds. Okay, even a supercomputer with a brute force attack would take 20 years to do that.
Maybe you can explain then how our latest satellite imagery shows North Korea doubling its naval activity.
Maybe it's a precaution, because isn't that what we're doing? The signal pattern is learning. It's evolving on its own, and you need to move past Fourier transfers and start considering quantum mechanics.
There is nothing on Earth that complex.
What about an organism? A living organism, maybe some kind of DNA-based computer. And I know that sounds crazy.
That's enough. That's enough. We have 6 floors of analysts working on this thing. Now, if you can find proof to back up your theory, I'm going to be happy to listen to you. But if you don't get a filter on that brain-mouth thing, you're going to be off the team. You understand?
Look, I can't be any clearer than how crystal clear I am being. It just stood up.
Just stood up. Wow. It's really neat. Okay, Chiefy. Time to fill her up. And no drippy drippy. What are you rolling? Whippets, goofballs? Little wowie sauce with the boys?
No, I'm not on any drugs.
What's these? Down in your pocket. Mojo. Is that what the kids are doing now? A little bit of mojo.
Those are my dog's pain pills.
Yeah, Chihuahua. Little.
What was that? You eyeballing my piece, 50 Cent? Oh, you wanna go? Make something happen, do it. Because I promise you, I will bust you up.
Are you on drugs?
Let's hope this telephone line works. What the heck was that?
No sé, cagano. El letrero por poco me rompe el culo.
English, dude. English.
Whoa! Everybody quiet, settle! Whoa, mother... What the hell? I need a telephone. That's a telephone. Telephone, yes. Cell phone. All right, thank you. Fire! This is an emergency. emergency Pentagon call. I need you to... Do you understand? It's an emergency... I don't have a credit card!
Sir, the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
I'm in the middle of a war! This is friggin' ridiculous! I need a credit card! Hey, where's your wallet? Pocket! Which pocket? My back pocket! You got 10 back pockets! Left cheek! Left cheek! Left cheek! I can't shoot! Hey, visa!
Also, sir, have you heard about our Premium Plus World Service Gold package?
No, I don't want a premium package! That's Pentagon!
Give me status. Sir, we're tracking a special ops team under fire in Qatar. They say they're survivors of the base attack.
Survivors?
I ain't never seen this in my life!
Whoever did this finally managed to infiltrate our defense network, which is what they tried to do in Qatar, only this time it worked.
What did they get?
We still don't know.
Talk to me about the virus.
It's a spider-bot virus. We're not sure what it's going to do, but it may cripple the system.
Can we stop it?
Every time we try an antivirus, it adapts and speeds up. It's like it's not a virus anymore. It's become the system.
Obviously, the first phase of a major attack against the U.S. The only countries with this kind of capability are Russia, North Korea, maybe China.
I'm sorry, that's not correct.
Let's hope this telephone line works. What the heck was that?
No sé, cagano. El letrero por poco me rompe el culo.
English, dude. English.
Whoa! Everybody quiet, settle! Whoa, mother... What the hell?
So I was just trying to say, they hacked your firewall in 10 seconds. Okay, even a supercomputer with a brute force attack would take 20 years to do that.
Maybe you can explain then how our latest satellite imagery shows North Korea doubling its naval activity.
Maybe it's a precaution, because isn't that what we're doing? The signal pattern is learning. It's evolving on its own, and you need to move past Fourier transfers and start considering quantum mechanics.
There is nothing on Earth that complex.
I need a telephone. That's a telephone. Telephone, yeah. It's an emergency Pentagon call. I need you to... Do you understand? It's an emergency... I can't shoot!
What about an organism? A living organism, maybe some kind of DNA-based computer. And I know that sounds crazy.
That's enough. That's enough. We have 6 floors of analysts working on this thing. Now, if you can find proof to back up your theory, I'm going to be happy to listen to you. But if you don't get a filter on that brain-mouth thing, you're going to be off the team. You understand?
That's Pentagon!
Give me status. Sir, we're tracking a special ops team under fire in Qatar. They say they're survivors of the base attack.
Survivors?
I ain't never seen this in my life.
I think it's Brad Bird who explains in the director commentary of The Incredibles that it can be a really powerful editing device to cut back and forth between two scenes that are seemingly unrelated and then show at the end how they are related. Now, first of all, they just mentioned Qatar in the first scene, so it just makes sense to jump straight over to Qatar to see what's happening there. But more than that, by intercutting these two scenes, you add to the tension of both because they build on each other. They each have their own plots and protagonists, and their story arcs progress simultaneously. In the first scene, the inciting incident is when the analyst first interrupts the conversation of the Pentagon officials, and in the second scene, it's when the first soldier gets killed by the Transformer. The scenes progress together as the analyst tries to defend her theory, and the soldiers run to the town, and the Josh Duhamel character tries to find a working phone, and they also reach their climaxes at the same time, when the analyst suggests that the attacker might be a living organism, and the soldier gets on the phone but immediately appears to have been killed by a bomb. Now, you're thinking, David, that's not the climax of that scene, it goes on for way longer than that. Yes and no. Yes, that scene does go on for a lot longer, and a lot more does happen than just him getting on the phone. But when you mesh the two scenes, what you're doing with the desert scene, since it's longer, is taking the part that's conjoined with the Pentagon scene and making it its own mini-desert scene, separate from the part that then continues independently. That one beginning when the Secretary of Defense learns about the situation and the inciting incident being when air support shows up. You get the idea. Now notice that since I cut back to the Pentagon as soon as it looks like the guy might have gotten killed, we get to sweat for a little bit longer about whether he survived. Also notice that I switched the explosion that seems to have killed him. In battle scenes, generic explosions are pretty interchangeable, and the one that they used in the original cut works better as an earlier transition in my cut, partly because right after the guy says, "There is nothing on Earth that complex," the visual and musical escalation of the next shot serves as kind of a cinematic bullshit, while the other one works as the explosion that endangers the Josh Duhamel character because it generates a bit of pathos to immediately hear the guy yell, "Keep shooting," as if they've somehow just caused their friend's death and are completely unaware of it. And I'm willing to bet that no one noticed that the explosion happened in the middle of the open desert where there were no buildings. And even if you did, chances are you accepted it anyway, just because you saw the outside explosion right after the inside explosion, and your brain just assumed they must be connected, because that's what our brains do. Now, something I want you to pay attention to is that when I cut back to a scene, instead of picking up where it left off, I often cut out a couple lines or frames to simulate the passage of time. For example, in the original cut, when the analyst interrupts the conversation, they ask her who she is and start to escort her out before realizing that she detected the hack and deciding to hear her out. In my cut, we cut straight to the desert after she interrupts, and when we come back, she's already in the process of explaining. Same thing in the battle. In the original cut, the kid yells for his dad, he and the soldier run into the house, but in mine, the kid yells, we cut, and by the time we come back, they're already in the house. And instead of beginning with "Sir" as an introduction, the soldier starts by asking for a phone, so we don't know how long they spent getting to the house or how long they've been there. What this kind of structure does is streamline the flow so that it feels like each scene has been continuing even as we watch the other one. We feel like we're always moving forward, which keeps us more involved in what we're watching, and also in what we're not watching. I break this pattern when the guy says that there's nothing on Earth that complex, and the analyst says, "What about a living organism?" At that point, the tempo of the scenes allows for that kind of immediacy, and in turn, the directness of her response helps to quicken the pace even more by giving the impression that we're moving between the scenes so fast that we're not missing anything from either one. Or, if you prefer, helps to build the tension by giving the impression that what they're talking about is so important that we're not being allowed to miss any of it. Whichever way you want to think about it. At the end, the scenes intersect, and we see that they're not just artificially connected, they really have been connected the whole time because he's calling the guys we just saw talking in the Pentagon. So they go straight from their argument to the phone call without being slowed down by the scene of Sam, the Shia LaBeouf character, getting interrogated in between, which you probably noticed I cut. The scene right before the one in the Pentagon is him getting arrested, so all you'd have to do with the interrogation scene is put it right after the arrest scene. Or after the whole thing in the desert if you wanted. Also, since we already have enough variety by going from the chaos of the war zone to the quiet of the Pentagon, we can lose the whole bit with a snooty Indian guy on the phone, which completely kills the momentum of the scene. And really, the only reason it's there in the first place is for comic relief that we don't need. This way, we still get moments of respite interspersed throughout the battle, but without sacrificing the drama of the scene. There's one more reason I cut these scenes the way I did, and it's a psychological reason that impacts how the audience views the situation. Even though neither of these scenes really affects the other, except for the phone call at the very end, by jumping back and forth between them, the audience subconsciously gets the impression that the lives of the soldiers in the desert are somehow dependent on the stubbornness of the bureaucrats in the Pentagon. Like, every second they waste arguing with the analyst about her theory is getting more soldiers and Middle Eastern civilians killed. So this way, as an audience member, you're not just thinking, come on guys, she's obviously right, get with the program. You're thinking, come on guys, people are dying, get with the program, which cranks up the urgency of the scene. So where we had 3 scenes, the Pentagon scene, the interrogation scene, and the desert scene, we now have essentially 1, and I think you'll agree that it flows better and is more effective because of it. That's how I would have edited it. So for the 5 or 6 people who listened to all this, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.